and welcome to Stage Door with Michael.
And Divina. I'm Michael.
And I'm Divina. And we're going to be meeting lots of exciting and interesting people from across the theatrical world.
Yes, basically, we're traveling all over the globe to see your favourite musical theatre stars.
Yes, we are. And we're getting all the news and gossip from them about the industry and about them and what makes them tick.
Now, today's guest has been all over the world. We've been very, very lucky to catch him, to be honest. Recording artist, star of the stage and screen, it's Noel Sullivan.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
Crowd is going wild. I love it.
I was like, Davina's had a coffee this morning.
Oh,
Jeez,
no.
I love an intro. You tell us the first of the day.
I've been painting already. I've been out in my front porch, painting my porch. I thought, oh, I've got white in my hair because I've been painting the ceiling. No, it's just grey. I've been bleaching my hair for the last year, and in that time I have gone, it is so
Babe, look
so
at you.
grey.
Oh, that's the salt and pepper.
I mean,
You can't see mine. Mine is also covered in product.
This-
but
this.
look, we've entered the Clooney years. This is how it's supposed to be.
the
There you
Clooney
go.
is, and his lovely Mooney. He
Yeah,
got voted best bum. Oh no, he didn't. He got voted most attractive, but in Batman he had a bum double because he didn't like his own bum.
Oh, really?
Did you know
See,
that?
Just goes to show. It just goes to show you can't have it all.
No. But we're going to try and get as much as we possibly can out of you. Yes, we are. We've been trying to get you on for ages and ages and ages. So tell all of our listeners what you have been up to and what you're doing right now.
Well, I've just got off a plane from Hong Kong, where I've just finished a 3.5 month tour with my education company of international schools around Southeast Asia. So it's a company that my husband and I set up about 13 years ago. And basically, about 5 years ago, I had a bit of a meltdown with regards to my position in the industry. And I just got to a point where I was hitting my 40s and I was like, all right, but every time you finish a show, you just go back to square one, right? It's the same thing. You go back into the audition process, you get another show, you do the rehearsals, 3 months in, you're bored. Like it started to not be as fulfilling for me as it used to be because I'm 25 years in now. She's an old turn. So yeah, I just started putting my time and effort into education because I'm getting kind of a fulfilling aspect for my life out of that, and kind of seeing kids kind of grow in self-confidence and stuff is just a really rewarding avenue that my career seems to be taking at the moment. So over the past year specifically, we've just been doing a lot more work out in Southeast Asia and China, and I'm loving growing that company and kind of being creative with a different outlet, shall we say.
How did that start then? How do you go, right, let's just go to Southeast Asia? How does that happen?
So my husband and I met on We Will Rock You, and
I thought you
we
were going to
toured for
say
about-
something else then. I was
I
like,
I don't even think that existed. Hampstead Heath. No, I've got George Michael playing in my brain now. That's my CPU. So yeah, basically we met on We Will Rock You, and we were on tour for 18 months together. And the day after we finished that, we went traveling around Thailand for 6 weeks together. It was kind of a real test of whether or not we were going to get on outside the constructs of the tour bubble, but while we were out there, one of my friends is an international school teacher who teaches chemistry, not stagey at all. And she said that they were holding this big music conference in her school for all of the Southeast Asian schools. And it was a very, the kids are really talented, amazing, virtuoso violinists and cellists and pianists. And we went and we kind of got them out from behind their instruments and got them doing a flash mob and doing rock music, and off the back of that, really, it kind of just snowballed. So now it's turned into a thing where we go into the schools, we offer in-school workshops on musical theatre, we help with their productions, we talk to them about careers in the arts, all that kind of stuff. So it's really great.
That's amazing. I was looking at some of your stuff on social media. It just looks incredible as well. And you get to travel as part of that. But let's go right back to the beginning, if you don't mind. So right back, obviously, like The Best of Us, you were on TV where you're starting your career. But before that, did you always know you wanted to get into theatre, singing, everything else? And what what led you to the moment when you went, yeah, this is going to be my full-time career?
So I was very lucky. I grew up in a very musical household, and my mum had me quite young, and I would go to my grandmother's on the weekend, and she was a classical cellist. So every weekend I would go there, and I would be surrounded by music. And she at a very early age, saw me playing on the piano and like got me into music lessons. And so every Saturday morning, I would go to the Scallywags Choir in Penarth and I would sing Bananas in Pajamas. And I just loved it from there, like 6 years old. And I was like at the front with the jazz hands going, just living my life. So, like, I think, like, from a very early age, I knew it was always going to be. And I got my first kind of professional break when I was 12 or 13. I sang for the high school's choir because I'm Welsh and everybody sings in a choir at some point during their youth. And I was spotted by the Welsh National Opera to go and work on a Debussy opera called Pelléas et Mélisande, which was on in the highlights in the Birmingham Hippodrome and the Paris Châtelet. so, so at a very early age, I went to go and like work in Paris. I got to see how an opera was put on. I saw all of the elements of the staging, of the set building, or like I get to go around the workshops in Cardiff. Like I just saw it all, and I was just fascinated, by the makeup, the costume, everything. And that was at a really formative age for me because then I went, I got taken out of school to go and do that job. And then when I went back to school, I was like, nah, no. The magic had hit, the inspiration had sparked, and that was it. And so pretty much from that moment on, I did everything I could to be on stage to pursue a career in performing arts.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. I love that.
And you've been all over doing all kinds of things. How do you then, because I know because there is a link between us from early Burley, that you were out in Ibiza for a little while doing stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, well, after my A levels, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and take a year out and go and find my feet. My feet meant boys in in Ibiza.
Feet.
Yeah, my feet. Nothing under a size 8, please. And so basically I went out to Ibiza to work, and I worked for an entertainment agency that we've both worked for, and I did a blacklight theatre of Prague show. So that's like you dress all in black on a black stage under ultraviolet light, and all your puppets and props are sprayed with UV paint, so it gives the illusion that they're floating. Anyway, I did that, and then they saw that I could do other things, so then they were like, I'd fill in as an entertainer, or I'd do a gig as a singer after my show or whatever, and then I just started doing loads of different things and loving all of it. And actually, when I came back from that experience, so that was like an 8-month contract in the sunshine. And when I came back from that, there was an ad in the local paper, Pop Stars Wanted, and that was it was the first audition for reality TV pop stars. Like what is now, as we know, America's Got Talent, X Factor, all of those things. It was the guinea pig version for that. So the premise of that show was, for those people who didn't see it or were too young, because they exist now, but it was it was basically a documentary on how you make a pop band, and it was on ITV when there were only 4 channels, no phone votes, no internet, and they made a documentary of putting together a pop band, a la the Spice Girls or Girls Aloud or whatever, and off we went. And
You were my first CD. That was
well,
my
there
Pure
you
and
go.
Simple was my first.
Oh my God, say it again. Love that. That's amazing. And
Say
also,
it again.
it's so amazing, but also petrifying, and I hate you. So, so yeah, I mean, that was at the time. Well, it was kind of the last of the CDs, really, because not long after that, we became downloads and physical copies went in. But Pure and Simple, our first single, sold 546,000 copies or 86,000 copies in the first week of physical CDs, which still blows
Yeah.
my mind. And went on to be a massive smash. And we were in Hearsay. Hearsay was wildly mismanaged and kind of, because it was put out there. No one knew what they were doing with it. So the TV companies, the record companies, they didn't know because it was the first one. They were just like, "Whoa, let's see what happens." And then after us, people were taken away for a year. They were made into their bands. They were made into those different, they were polished into pop stars, whereas we kind of made all of our mistakes out in the open. So yeah, it was a wild time, a brilliant time for me, and it really kind of launched me into my career. But having experienced fame, pop stardom, I was like, that's not really for me. And when the band finished, I went back into my first love, which was musical theatre. Shall I take a breath?
Yeah, I mean,
I
listen,
love it. It's
yeah,
nice. We're
It's like
we're
a,
just
it's
sitting
like an
back.
audio. Yeah, it's like an audio book.
I'm loving
Do you
this.
still
I'm
talk
like,
to the other members, or is that, can I not ask that question?
No, no, no. We had a chat about a reunion about 5 years ago for the 20th anniversary, and it kind of brought up a few things I wasn't prepared for. Like I kind of pulled down a bit of a metal garage door over the whole experience and just got on with my life. And when I spoke to them all again, I was like, oh, maybe should have dealt with that as a child. So it brought up some stuff, and I kind of stepped back from that for a bit. But we have been all texting and chatting of late because it's
Nice.
25 years this year. So there's chatting, which is
So
nice.
there's might be a 25-year
I didn't say
reunion.
that. I didn't say that.
Hey, come on,
I just said
guys.
we're chatting. You can take that what you
If
will.
it's not now, it'll be the 30th. There you go.
Perhaps.
well, so you just said that you went back to your first love of musical theatre,
Yes.
but so there's a little bit missing here for me. So after your A levels, you go to Ibiza, and
Yeah.
then you come back from Ibiza, and
Yeah.
then you do Pop Stars,
Yeah.
and then you go straight into musical theatre after that.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah. But I didn't go like I had some West End off. Well, because I'd also done musical theatre at A level. I toured the States before I'd gone to Ibiza. I toured with a male voice choir for like 3.5, 4 months around 32 states of America, and that was an amazing
Wow.
professional experience as well. And
Which
and I
choir
make
was that?
It was called the Black Mountain Male Chorus of Wales, which went on to become Only Men Allowed, which won that big choir competition,
Yes.
choir stand-in. So yeah, had I not been in Hearsay, I probably would have been in Only Men Allowed because they were my other passion. So yeah, fun. It's funny how it all works out. But yeah, so I'd had like a really amazing professional experience there where I'd earned money as a singer and was like, yeah, having that. So when I came back from Ibiza, the plan was to go to musical theatre college, but then Hearsay happened and kind of took me that way. And then really, I felt like I was a bit too famous to just go to like Arts Ed afterwards. It would have been a bit of a nightmare. So I was like, I know the basics. I mean, like I know what I'm doing, but I was very certain not to just barge into the West End because I knew what the vibe would be like from my peers and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I know they're all a bag of bitches. So I was like, so I started doing very small regional shows. So my first one was Greece in Jersey with Claire Buckfield as Sandy, and an amazing. That was amazing because I was a bit messed up from the Hearsay experience, and like I just clicked into theatre so beautifully there and found my people, like my tribe, if you want to, like it was. We spent all summer on the beach, like the cast of Grease. We'd go in and have the most fun on the show. I got to like expel all my demons, talk about all the shit that I'd just gone through, and nobody batted an eyelid because in musical theatre, whatever you say, someone's going to top you in about 5 minutes anyway. Like whatever your most naughty thing is, or whatever your most biggest darkest secret is, someone's got one worse, and they're happy to share it and probably do a little song about it too. So it's like I just found it amazing, and I just love the people. And to be surrounded by so much fun and joy and light all the time. I
I love
just was
that.
like, I never want to leave this. So then carried on. I did Fame then, and Fame was a big test for me because I did that up in Edinburgh, and it was with Barbara Dixon, and like I love an old theatre diva. Like you can do no wrong. I don't care what your
Yeah.
reputation is. Like take me there. But that cast was made up as lots of people who, because they just did it for a winter season at the Edinburgh Playhouse, but it was made up of loads of alumni from the London production, from the big revival.
Mm.
So the day I walked in for rehearsals for that, you could just see them all like, they're all like shouldering their lead, like, giving me evils. And
Just
but
like
once,
that.
yeah, just like that. Just like, still got the flexibility, dear. You see, I thought they're not paying me enough for this. But if you log on to my OnlyFans, you can see me shouldering my.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sorry. The caffeine's kicking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that Fame was amazing because once they saw me doing, I felt like I really started to be accepted by the industry there. And then I did actually I've got a good Barbara Dixon story actually. So we'd gone up for tech at the Playhouse, and both my name and Barbara Dixon's were on the poster. Which I thought was ridiculous anyway. I couldn't stop taking photos of the poster on the bus stop, and like so happy about it. And then they called the company to, it was starting rehearsals. They were like, "Ladies and gentlemen of the Fame Company, please make your way to the stage." So we did that, and then we broke for lunch, and then after lunch it was, "Ladies and gentlemen of the Fame Company, Miss Dixon, Mr. Sullivan, and ladies and gentlemen of the company, please make your way to the stage." And there was a knock on my door. And I opened the door, and Barbara Dixon was there, and she went, "That, my dear, is what you call double billing."
What?
She's just absolutely incredible.
That is
I love
camp.
that.
It's camp. It's camp.
So, Noel, we would love to play a little game with you now, if that's okay. We're going to test your musical theatre knowledge.
Okay.
So you've got to name in 30 seconds as many musical theatre song titles as you can. You can list every song you've sung, or you can go through the whole of
song titles.
just song titles. So, like, for example, from Greece, you do "You're the One That I Want," "Sandy," that sort of thing. You don't need to say the name of the show, just
or my favourite, "Raining on Prom Night."
I can see you doing that one. That's very Divina de Campo.
Davina's got her timer, stopwatch. Over to you, Divina.
All
right.
On.
3,
okay.
2, 1, go.
I want to break free. Under pressure, we will rock you. Hammer to fall. Fame. What did you say? Greece. Greece is the word. You're the one that I want. Sandy. Raining on Prom Night. Bring him home. Castle on the Cloud in the Sky. What's that one? Great Big Stuff. Impossible Dream. I want to break free. Oh my God, that's it.
14. That's
14.
good. I should write that down.
I really should have just stuck with one musical and gone down the list, but again,
it's harder than you think, though. I think you start to say the ones, and then you go, "Hang on, what's like you say, Castle on the Cloud in the Sky?"
I don't know. I did an audition for Les Mis once, and afterwards they were like, "We don't think he's right for Les Mis, but we have got Avenue Q going out next year." And
Similar
there,
shows.
my legitimate musical theatre career ended.
So you've said already that you found your tribe. You really love musical theatre. So what is it? Because not every experience is wonderful in musical theatre.
No.
Not every experience. So what is it about musical theatre that you really love? Because we did Diana Mixtape together, and I can see, when you were in the room rehearsing, you are incredible. The dancers are all like 12 and a half, and they learn it like that, and you learn it like that. And your voice is insane, and you're so funny. So you have, you've talked already about your career, and it's very kind of all over the place, really, from a male voice choir to then going and working in Ibiza doing a puppet show to then, I'm going to audition for this Pop Stars and Rivals thing, to then doing musical theatre. It's quite frenetic. What is it about musical theatre that went, that's it? What's the thing that you love about it?
Well, there's a number of things. I tend to burst into song in life anyway. When people are like, "Oh God, the musical theatre is so unrealistic. Like people don't just burst into song." I'm like, all of my friends just burst into song all the time. You're hanging around with the wrong people.
Do you sing songs from musicals though, or do you just sing your thoughts?
It depends on the day. Sometimes, I've got one friend. We only ever speak in musical theatre prose to each other via and it can be any style. Like she sent me this really beautiful country and western song last night about the fact she cooked sea bass in her flat and it stank. Shout out to Sean Reese Williams. Yeah, it's amazing.
Can you give us something now? Like, give us what you're feeling right now. Any style.
I had too much coffee. My legs are juddering. Need to go to bed.
Love it.
You can cut that bit out. It's not my that wasn't my finest work.
Oh my gosh, that's staying. The thing is, so I actually saw you in We Will Rock You when you were doing it with Lauren Samuels, and she's a
Yes.
friend of mine as well. And I have to say, you were the best Galileo I've ever seen. And
He's only
I
seen it once.
Yeah, yeah, and he's got a
no,
dodgy
that's
right
not true
ear,
at all. I've seen it a lot. So I just remember thinking, not that
cataracts.
you were wasted
Hearing
maybe in
aids
here, so
on.
that sounds quite harsh, but like,
Yeah. No,
did you feel,
I was wasted in hearsay. I
but you
sound
know,
like three lines and an ad lib. It's like, come on, dude.
but isn't it strange to think that you can go through different jobs, sort of showcasing different attributes as such? Do you have like a favorite role that you've played where you've really got to showcase full
Yeah.
Noel?
Yeah. I think Freddie Benson in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was a career highlight for me, just because of the range of comedy. You're playing so many different parts within the show, and also just I loved, like, because I saw that show in the West End, and I didn't believe that the leads had a very good like natural connection,
Right.
and I working with Michael Praed, who was my lead, was just a wonderful experience. It was fully supportive. You could try things out. You never felt like a dick. It was just, and then when he got on stage, there was just breath and like, you don't get many roles in life where you don't just go right. For example, if you're going into a show that already exists, they're like, stand on two, do it like this. They clap here, you move on. Unless you're building something from scratch, you don't get that artistic input very often. Your confines are, like you can only fill in what you do very narrowly, I
Yeah.
think. And with that show in particular, it felt like it always was growing all the time. Like, and I've never really had, well, the only other one like that was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where it's constantly, it feels like it's growing and changing with the audience that you're working with. So yeah, they're the two actually. It would be Tickin Priscilla and Freddie in Dirty Rotten Scandals.
Amazing.
Now, uh, on your Instagram, the first thing that you talk about is travel. So tell us about that, and can you let us know where in the world we simply have to visit?
Okay. Well, basically I've changed that. That's new. So thanks for
Oh,
taking. Thanks for. I've just put. I literally changed my bio like last week because because my friends were like, "You travel so much. Why don't you document it?" And I'm like, because influencers. Like, I'm just like I'm
If I
just
you
like
on a bike on that little moped with the visor that doesn't work, that's what
exactly.
people
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah, I know. Well, now apparently it is what people want to see. So I'm, give the people what they want. Who am I to deny them? So basically, the last bunch of traveling that I've done, I've just started doing these little minute-long clips of my whatever it might be. Here I am, because I do end up in some really random places. Not just with this, but I've started doing a bit of cruise work this year as well, and that work, like, I love it. It's amazing. It's like being treated like royal. And I was always a bit standoffish about it, like, I'm too good for that. And then I'm like, how much? But not just that. It's like, it's such a beautiful way to see the world. The people absolutely love it. The stories I've got to tell now, I've got all those anecdotes. And I'm at an age where I'm like, do you know what? I do want a wardrobe full of sparkly suits and caftans. I'm ready for it. Like, give me it. Give me it.
Jane
Yeah.
McDonald, here we
Yeah,
come.
for sure. Like, why was I resisting it? I love traveling so much. And actually, I'm doing, like, on most of the gigs that I'm doing, I'm just like 2 45 minutes in a week or something. I'm
yeah.
just like, I've never worked so little for so much and had such a wonderful time and been treated with so much respect in my life. So more of that, I
Yeah.
So
think.
which cities have you been to that you would recommend?
I mean, I'm obsessed with Southeast Asia. I think it's got the best food in the world. I think culturally, it's really interesting. You can. Thailand is up there for me still, even though it's kind of the go-to tourist. But I've been traveling there for maybe 20 years now, and it has changed massively. But you can still find pockets of untouched beauty. The food is incredible. Like, if you go away from the tourist hubs, even just by an hour, and go and experience the real Thailand, it's unbelievable. From the mountains in the north, I'm a scuba diver instructor, which I did last January, and I've been like a keen scuba diver for about 20 years now. So I often head out to the Similan Islands, which is off the coast of Khao Lak on the west coast of, like, north of Phuket. You'll have to rewatch this with your
Yeah, with the map.
yeah, with your maps. Yeah, so I would say Thailand for sure. I look again. Vietnam is like a less traveled Thailand. The food is amazing, really fragrant, crispy, crunchy, spicy, delicious. I went to Japan for my first trip in January, and I'm obsessed. I want to go back there straight immediately. Like it was so clean, the food was perfection. The respect from the people there was just another level. I was just like, how have you got your whole culture so right? Like you didn't think, oh, someone's going to nick my phone if I'm texting walking down the road, or don't hold that guy's eye for too long on the tube or he'll spit in your face. Like it's just such a lovely, like everyone's like so respectful. So I want to go back there. The order of it is incredible.
Oh, amazing.
Um,
Well,
yeah, and I
thank you.
can keep
We're
going.
going to be busy, aren't we, doing all this
I
traveling? But
know.
when I was looking up interesting facts about you on the first thing that came up said Noel Sullivan hasn't aged a day in his 25-year career. I thought, well, there you go. But honestly, you have had such a long career, and obviously we've mentioned there have been highs and lows and everything else. Is there anything that you do that helps you get through? Like if you're having a particularly low moment, do you have anything that you like take yourself off to read a book, or is there anything like that that you would recommend for
Michael, in
others?
all honesty, the answer to that was 17 pints of Stella. Um,
Really?
yeah, but I've been off the booze for 13 months now, which
Wow.
yeah, it's been the hardest. Do you know when people are like, Namaste, it's been so transformative. I'm like, it's been the worst year of my life. And they go, it gets easier, and I'm like, I want to drink every day.
Really?
So no, I would say like yeah, booze was always my go-to escape. I'm a Welsh boy, grew up at
Yeah.
it was always, and I'm of that generation as well, where it was like a couple of pints after work or a couple of pints for breakfast. So it's it's definitely yeah, it's definitely changed for me now. The past year, I found joy in other things, and that has been a little bit more getting out. I mean, I've always been a nature boy anyway, but more hiking, more getting out in it, way more swimming, all of that stuff, bit of gymming. It's funny because I saw that headline actually, and 5 years ago when I was in School of Rock, it was like, he's a fat fuck, and like look at the size of him, it's disgusting. And now it's like, because I've lost a bit of weight, they're like, oh, he's unrecognizable. He looks exactly hasn't aged a day. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. I don't know
No,
what
you're
your
Oh,
fine. Don't
no,
worry.
that's all right.
I
It's
mean,
nothing we haven't heard.
no. I mean, I'm on this podcast. Fucking hell. Um, the the only up part to that is at least they're still writing about you.
Listen, she's still got it. So,
Exactly.
whatever,
They're
whatever. I
still
mean,
interested.
yeah, and I'm always very grateful because, like you said, I'm very grateful to turn my hand to whatever I want to do, and I've experienced a lot of amazing things in my career, and I'm
Mm.
still ticking along and doing things that interest me and spark me creatively. So, like as long as that's happening, I'll carry on doing it, I think.
Mm.
And apart from working with me, has there been any major setbacks in your career?
Well, apart from working with you, um, which was a
Rotten.
joy, which was a joy, by the way. Um, no, I think this career is ebbs and flows, and you just like I've learned that you're not always going to be flavor of the month, and sometimes you can't get shot.
Mm.
And what I've also learned is that you can't control that. Like you just have to stick with it until something clicks again. And like there's no like what I found in those moments where the phone's not ringing is that I've stopped waiting for the phone to ring, and that was a massive turning point for me because for 20 years I was just like, what's the next gig? And yes, the answer's always yes. And
Yes.
actually I've really learned over the past couple of years the power of no, and what that does for me. Like no, I'm not always available, and I'm
Mm.
not dropping my personal plans for to go to that wedding and stuff, to go and do a concert for 20 quid, or I'm not going to go and do a run if like I'm not going to leave my house if it's going to be uncomfortable and in less
Mm.
comfortable than what I live in. Like I've just started doing all of those things, and it's changing, and it's really changing things for me.
So what is
Yeah.
next then? Where can we
Well,
see you?
honestly, like the stuff that's been coming in theatre-wise just hasn't been the one, if I'm honest. Like I want to do stuff. I want to be original cast and stuff. I don't really want to go into stuff that's existing. And I might be shooting myself in the foot with that. But like again, I'm now at a point where I want to do the creation in the studio and make the track that people then step into. I'm not really interested in going and being 484th Jean Valjean. But however, should that opportunity,
If anyone's offering it.
if anyone's offering it, but I already know Avenue Q's already on. I'm not in that, so But yeah, I think that's probably the way I have to play it for the time being, and see where that lands me. The work that we're doing in Southeast Asia is exciting to me, and I would also like to start producing some stuff to take out that way. So I think that's kind of where, like, being a creative, being a director, is kind of where my passions are pulling me naturally. I can feel that happening, but I'm not putting a plug in the performing because I'll always be a performer. I think once you are one, you're never not one. Like and I found that when I stopped singing, I probably did 2 years of no gigs and stuff, and I because I needed it. I'd got to that point of saturation where I was bored of my own voice. I don't know why, but yeah, but you have to come out to the other side of it and be like, right, okay, I'm ready now. But it has to be things that excite you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Noel. You've been absolutely amazing. We've got one tiny little game before we let you go.
Okay.
Davina is going to sing a line of a song, and then you've got to finish that line. Literally, hopefully with the correct words, or you can make it up, do your own thing.
Well, you've heard the
Make it better.
Bed song, and I don't think that's got number one written on it.
Your
My
legs are going,
favourite
yeah.
thing about this is that we never decide who's going to do it, and every now and again, one of us will just volunteer the other because we have no idea what to do ourselves.
I was trying to remember the first line of the Avenue Q song. I was like, oh, look, a penny. And then I was like, oh, I can't think of the other bit.
Good. There's nothing like preparation, I say, Michael.
Exactly. I mean, I love it. I love the way that he
Working with
so
Divina.
confidently went, Divina is going to sing the start of a song, and you just have to finish it now.
And what's always nice is when your co-host doesn't pull you up on it and show you up.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. She'll do it to me the rest of the series. That's it. Go on, Davina.
Right. I want to live forever. I want to learn how to fly.
Bye. Coming together. People see me. I was going to get up then and realise I've still got my gym shorts on. And it doesn't really go with this top. So
you remembered you were on Zoom, and
yeah. Remember my name, kids. Remember my legs.
Well done. Thank you so much. Remind people where they can follow you online and say
if you're
goodbye to the
interested
listeners.
in incredible travel content, you can find me at the Noel Sullivan on Instagram. That's the only place, because I got booted off Twitter and I don't want to go back on there now because of EU should not be named. Anyway,
there we go. And with that,
We'll see you
thank you so
soon.
much. We'll see you again. Thanks for joining us on the stage door.